Hey everybody, it's Lisa from Forever Clean Soap Works. We are going to be making some oatmeal milk and honey soap today. It is a very popular soap and I always run out of it here. I'm going to do a triple batch. It's my crock pot. I'm going to hot process it because I want it quickly. I don't know if you can see the little floaties on there. That's actually goat milk. Can you see it? I know there's a reflection. That's goat milk. I put my goat milk in my oils because I don't want it to burn when you add lye to it unless you freeze it and have cubes of it and put your lye into your goat milk. It could burn and scorch. Well, I just put it right in here. What I do is discount the water that I use to mix my lye in, and then I put the goat milk right in there. So I'm going to emulsify it. And it's going to mix it up and keep it nice and together until I add my lye. I was filming earlier and of course I messed up again and shut it off instead of pausing it. But anyway, I'll learn one of these days. I'm using a different phone. It's an old phone that I have, but the camera is really good on it, so I gotta go back to the old way of doing things. Oh, anyway, where are you? Hi! Okay, I'm gonna emulsify my goat milk. All nice and creamy. Looks wonderful. I'm going to get my lye water and I'll show you something here. Let me just set this out for a second. I just bought an infrared thermometer. See that? It works so cool. If I can figure out how to use it. There we go. My oils are very cool. Now, the reason I want my oils very cool when I do hot process is volcanoes. You have hot oil and you put some hot lye in there and you start cooking it on top of that, you're going to get a volcano everywhere. That's why I have metal tables. Very easy to clean up a volcano when you have metal tables. Now I have my lye water and I've already mixed in my titanium dioxide. And the reason I use some titanium dioxide in this is the fragrance oil that I use has vanillin in it, vanilla. And it will turn dark brown. Along with, when you put honey in here, it heats it up even more and makes it darker brown. So I put some titanium dioxide in my lye water. And that's just going to lighten this up enough that it won't look like fudge, like chocolate brown fudge. But I mean, I've had people say, oh, that smells good enough to eat. Yeah, don't eat it. So anyway, this has been sitting and cooling in my window. Yes, it cools in my window because it was super duper hot and I didn't want it that hot. So, because I don't want a volcano. Oops, I got a little bit more of that titanium dioxide. I didn't stir it before I poured. I should have, but I didn't. So I'm going to scrape out that titanium dioxide because it kind of settles in the bottom a little bit. Even though it dissolved, it settles down there. There we go. Just a little swirl here, get it all off. Alright, I am going to mix it up. That's my lye water into my oils with my goat milk. Can you see it getting lighter? don't know if you can see because of the reflection, there's a little bit of oil that's not mixed in yet. Here's what you want to do with hot process. You don't have to mix it to trace. You just got to make sure the oils are emulsified. That's it. This is kind of a large batch. It's a triple, and it will make 27 bars because my soap mold makes 9 bars each. So it's a triple batch. And you don't have to make trace on it or anything. Not on hot process. It's not necessary. You just need to emulsify it and make sure all your oils are mixed in and not separated. That's it. Cool, huh? I always cook on high. I don't have time to cook on low and let it sit all day. I cook on high. I also don't use a lid. But let me turn this sideways. And getting my plastic wrap. Yes, plastic wrap. It has saved many batches from dumping all over, or I should say crawling out of the pot all over during a volcano. These oils are cool. It's not going to volcano. Famous last words. I got a little opening right there. I don't want a little opening. I want it sealed. So I'm going to cut this off and put another piece on there. It's already starting to heat up. I was thinking I needed a new crock pot, but this one's still working pretty good. There we go. It is covered now. Covered on that side. There we go. Seal it up good. Seal it tight. Now, in about 10 minutes or so, once this heats up, it's gonna start getting warm and it will create a big old bubble. It's hard to see the soap while it's a big old bubble, but that's okay. You don't need to see it. Not really. I mean, you can peek later. But all you gotta do is let that puppy cook. I usually, because my crock pot was cold, it's already getting so warm, I cook it about 30 minutes for a triple batch, and then I come over here and I tap down all the moisture off of it and look to see. I think you can see how that's really creamy white right now. Once it starts to cook really well, it's going to curl in from the sides and it's going to look like applesauce. Kind of have like translucent kind of shade to it. Once the center is cooked, it will either, like one of my crock pot completely rolls the soap over so that it's all translucent, and another one, it does it on the sides but then kind of cooks down from the center because the sides are much hotter, and you just gotta kind of have to look, you have to look at it to see what stage it's in. I know what mine look like when they're ready. You don't want to cook it too long. You cook it too long and it's going to get dried out, and you'll be fighting to get it into the molds quick enough. Oh boy. I just forgot something. Now you can see me mess up and fix it. Oatmeal milk and honey. I could have put this in at the end. I would have to mix it with a little bit of oil just to make it mix in better. I don't want to do that. I want to do it right now. It's not cooking yet. I just set this in here. See, it's like bouncing. That's 2.5 ounces of oatmeal. Boy, I'm glad I saw that. See, I mess up all the time. I did a whole batch of soap with no fragrance. It was fine. down under there. But I can run it for a second and let it mix in. You do want to mix it thoroughly. And thankfully, this is still liquid enough that it will mix in very thoroughly. Busy yapping there for a second. I just totally forgot about the oatmeal. I'm glad I saw that. I wouldn't want a triple batch of milk and honey soap without the oatmeal. Oh, here's the cool thing. Here's the really, really cool thing is when this is cooking and it gets really hot. Oh, you can smell that oatmeal. It smells delicious. Oh my gosh. Okay. Wipe off the edges so my cling film will cling. Let's go back and do this one more time. See, I messed up, but didn't really mess up. It was a quick and easy fix. Which most of the time, I mean, you have to mess up really good to not be able to use the soap. And this one would have just been milk and honey. Because you put the honey in at the end, at least I do. Because I don't want it to burn. I made the mistake of putting the honey in like now, and it actually overheated and burned. Don't want to do that. Ooh, that came out nice. I made holes in this one. Nice. If you see that while you're cooking, there's so much moisture and it actually comes off, just grab some more of the wrap and put some more on there. But ooh, that's going. It's already bubbling up. Piece of old soap from the box. I have soap on everything. At least it's soap, right? Oh, it must have been from my handle over here. I had soap on my handle. Okay, cool. Now it's gonna cook. Anyway, that was 2.5 ounces, and you know what I do? You could buy colloidal oatmeal, which is an excellent product, but I like to be economical. So my oatmeal is actually, I'm going to show you. This is my oatmeal. Old-fashioned oats. I don't use the instant ones. I use the old-fashioned ones. I will also put a few on the top. Not many. But I use the old-fashioned oats, and I put them in a grinder, and I grind until it's powdery, and then I sift it, and what's left I grind again. You will never grind it as powdery as colloidal oatmeal. But the good thing about this, listen to that, it's like a drum, is that you get a little texture in your soap. And my customers like that. They like the little bit of texture in their soap. So that's what I do. I grind it myself and I give it a little texture, and it's wonderful. It's not like super scratchy, but it has a little bit of texture. Yes, texture. So that's all I have for now. I don't think I can pause this, and it won't stay long enough for this soap to cook and for me to unpause it and come back. However, I will be trying to piece together 2 videos, and I can now transfer this to my computer and hopefully edit 2 videos together. So what I'm going to do is, when this is done, I'm going to start my video up again, show you what it looks like when it's done cooking, and then do the honey in there and my fragrance, and then you can watch me put it in molds. Now, if it doesn't work when I go to try to put the 2 videos together, I'll just have 2 videos. We'll have part 1 and part 2. I hate doing it that way, but I'm learning and we're getting there. We're getting there. So that's all I got for you right now. Tune in to the next video, or hopefully this one will be continued. If not, thanks for watching. Bye. Hey, it's Lisa, Forever Clean Soap Works. Look at this big old bubble. This is my hot process oatmeal milk and honey. And it's been cooking about 45 minutes because it's a triple batch. Oh, squishing it out. I'm going to reveal what it looks like. And then we are going to add in the honey and the fragrance. Okay, on the previous video, I said that the sides would roll in. You can see how they're kind of translucent, but the middle is not. Well, what happens in this crock pot is it just doesn't get as hot as the other one, I guess in the center, down on the bottom. So it actually is cooked. It's a different color right here in the middle. There's my stirrer. And you go like this and it's not solid, it's soft. It's like butter. So I know that it's done because I have used this crock pot for quite a while. And I know what to look for, and I know that it's done. You see how beautiful that is in there? Oh, gorgeous. Well, I'm going to move rather quickly here, and I'm going to add in my honey. I do mix my honey with a little bit of water, so it's very fluid. So if you can see, it's very fluid. There's about 3.5 ounces in there. I got a little bit of, I had set this down and there was some oatmeal. A little powder right there from when I mixed my oatmeal in. I don't add this at the beginning because it will heat sugar, you know, will heat up, superheated, and it burns. I don't want it to burn. This crock pot gets hot, hot, hot. So that's my honey in there. Give it a quick stir. I do leave my crock pot on when I do this because, actually I'm going to close my door. Sorry. Oops, I didn't mean to slam it. I do leave my crock pot on. I want this to stay hot while I'm doing all this. Otherwise it's going to get crumbly. Now, I'm not going to continue to stir and stir because I still have to put in my fragrance. The normal fragrance that I use is a honey almond fragrance, and I'm out. I didn't realize that. I thought I still had like a half a container. So I made my own. I used a almond scent and then my vanilla scent that I use. The vanilla or vanillin will cause this to turn brown, which is why I added titanium dioxide to my lye water. Listen to that. Can you hear that bubble? That's hot. But oh my gosh, it smells good. And you can see how it's already, the honey is kind of discoloring it because it's so hot. I'll mix it in real quick. And it's not going to cause a problem if it adds a little bit of color there, because as it goes, I mean, when I cut it, it'll just make it kind of a multicolor. No big deal. That's why I don't add it. Look at that. That's why I don't add it first. I add it at the end. And I really need this, get this, see it's all melting. And I'm trying to incorporate it all into the soap. Gotta get mix in here. This smells so good with that oatmeal in there. Oh my goodness. This This is a wonderful soap. It really, truly is a wonderful soap. Being that it's a triple batch, there's a lot of soap batter in there. It's kind of hard to stir. But we'll get it. We always do. And if it ain't perfect, well, that's what handmade soap is like. It ain't perfect. You don't want it to look like it came from a factory. At least I don't want mine to look like it came from a factory. I want it to look good, I just don't want it to look like it was on an assembly line. Alright. Oh my goodness, it's heavy. I think I've just about got it. It's starting to dry out a little bit. Now I'll get it in the mold. Oh, wonderful. It smells so good. Alright. Push this back this way. Get in the mold. I'm gonna plop it on in there. Yeah, I don't add any other color or anything to it because it's gonna darken all on its own. It doesn't need my help. The only thing I did was a little bit of titanium dioxide so it doesn't come out looking like fudge. Because it will. Temperature gun there, and I don't want it flopping onto the floor. Yes, I beat it. I beat the stuff. And then I do kind of squish it into the corners. This, like I said, I was stirring for a while, so it's not really liquidy on top where I can add my oatmeal to it. All it does is add a little decoration, and most people don't want that decoration because then they got oats going down their drain and they don't care for that. Really quick stir. Here's the second one. Now how do I know that I've got enough in here? Well, I don't know. I wing it. And what I do after I get all three of them in there, I will plop them up on the scale real quick. Oh, I can turn this off now. I'll plop them up on the scale real quick and just to see how close I am. I don't want them to be totally off, but I eyeball it just to begin. When I first put it in there. Oops. And yeah, it's not exact right yet, but it will be. Well, not exact, I mean they're slightly different, but they're pretty close to the same. And after you've been using the same molds over and over for years and years, you pretty much know about where to put them. Alright, that's number 2. Here's number 3. See how that honey is starting to darken because it's getting hot? It's good though. It is good. Oh, this smells so good. So good. Oatmeal milk and honey, good for your skin. Feels good when it's on your skin. Honey is excellent for your skin. Well, so is oatmeal. So is goat milk. So it's just an all-around good soap. See, it's really starting to cool. I'm kind of mushing it in here. I don't want to scrape all the dark parts, but I do want to get some of this. Mush it down in there. I'm gonna beat it on the counter a few times. Basically, that's it. It's done. Hot process doesn't have to take all day. It does not. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna put it in the drying room. It will dry overnight. Let me rephrase that. It will cool down overnight because it's all done right now. It is soap already. It will cool down overnight. Then I can pop it out of the molds really easy. And then I will cut them and put them on the drying rack, and they will continue to dry for several weeks, and then they'll be ready. Yes, the older the soap, the better it is. So that's it. We're done. Off they go. I'm gonna weigh them real quick just to make sure, but I think they look like they're about all the same. So, if you have questions, leave me a question in the comments. Ring the little bell and you'll get a notification when I post something new. Subscribe to my channel. I'd appreciate it. Trying to get this YouTube thing going. I know my videos are kind of weird and wonky, but I'm having fun. So, that's all that matters, right? Alright, you all have a good day and happy soaping!